at the wheel. Northumbria A have Charlie Knox going from 12th, and then it's Zhao Serrao going for Coventry B from 13th spot. Nottingham B have Timmy Pickford at the wheel, rounding out the 7th row of the grid. And Royal Holloway, the number 75, have Dylan Guggenheim going for them from 15th. 16th is the Strathclyde kart with Matt Bird at the wheel. A Toad Chat. That's your grid, and we're off for race 1.
Here we go then, the 2018-19 BUKC season is go, and clean start into turn 1. Alex Gunn for Huddersfield runs a little bit wide and is off circuit, but it's going to be Titas Pachelis once again for Southampton leading out of turn 1, Howard.
Absolutely, yeah, I've got tired just reading out the grid, such as the size of drivers we have here today, the size of the field, but Alex Gunn manages to get it back onto the road. Difficult conditions here, we haven't mentioned that so far. Slippery conditions, and not really the conditions where we'll start to see a dry line forming for now at least. But Titus Pachelis has got exactly the start that he needs here as they work their way through Zulus for the first time, Andrew.
One driver off at turn 1. We'll check who that is in a moment. But once again, the Iceman of Southampton, as up the inside comes the number 12, and that is Brunel A. Side by side are Southampton and Brunel. Brunel has historically run very, very well at this event in the past. The number 47 there is the X to B kart.
Started well there.
So coming round to finish the first lap of this new BUKC season, it is Southampton A leading for Brunel A, X to B and X to A, Liverpool, Cranfield, Huddersfield, UWE A, Northumbria A and Manchester C, who are ineligible in this race, your top 10.
Absolutely, good start.
Change for the lead, Howard. Brunel A in the first part of this second lap of the race have hit the front.
Yeah, so Tom Constance there having a great start, as has Josh Kraft for X to B. So guys moving there from the 4th and 3rd rows of the grid respectively. Good first couple of laps from them.
And the honour of the first black flag of the season has gone to Coventry B, number 32, which is Yao Serrao for an advantage by contact. So that will be a visit to the pit lane for Coventry B. Not a good start to their day.
ABC is what's against it for that. That stands for advantage by contact. That means giving a little bump in order to open up a gap, and Stewart's not taking too kindly to that. He should be paying a visit to the pit lane to have that described. Challenge for third here between X to B and X to A, and actually X has just gone straight by. Good team play there from the X to karts.
Cone penalty for the leader, Brunel A, so that's going to be a time penalty for them. We'll focus on that later in the race, but the cones that you'll see behind the curbs here in the BUKC, the drivers are not allowed to hit them. There is an incident, Howard, I don't know if you can check that for me, up on the exit of Christmas. But the cones, hit them and you will get a 5-second penalty added to the end of your race. So they will be crucial at points through the season.
Two cars stationary next to Christmas. They're too far away and facing the wrong way for me to tell you who they are at present. We did see on that lap the 101 of Manchester C going past Liverpool at Christmas Corner. Just a point to bear in mind, Manchester C are not eligible for points in this race. One of the aspects of the new regulations are that there is a little bit of an incentive for more ineligible drivers today in order to get the right number of teams qualified, with the hope of having a wider pool of drivers further on in the year as more drivers gain their racing licence, a new aspect of the BUKC for this season. We've got a battle on here though.
For second place.
Indeed. Penalty for University of West of England A for track limits, that's the number 37. As a move here from X to A, Jarvis Devon tries up the inside of Titus Pachelis into the boot, but it wasn't on there, but he's managed to create a new opportunity heading towards the last corner. That's getting a bit argy-bargy, and Pachelis is going to be on the outside there, and he's also, that's great work from the two Exeter karts. They have both got past, so it's an Exeter 2-3 working well together here, Andrew.
And they just did it before the yellow flag for that incident you can see in the centre of your screen. Can't quite work out who that is towards the bottom of the field, but look at the number 10 now, the number 3 of Huddersfield A in there as well, Alex Gunn. Good to see him back here in the BUKC.
And he's up the inside of Josh Kraft as well there, so he's got himself up to third place there. Good move there. Liverpool on the move as well there. The 24, Matthew Bolton at the wheel.
And Huddersfield A's Alex Gunn has made his way through this traffic, and I think that is him up to second place now in the early stages of this 20-minute race.
Absolutely. Bear in mind, the number plate on the kart roughly corresponds to their finished position of the previous year if they competed in it. So that number 3 plate on the Huddersfield kart tells you that they were effectively best of the rest after Oxford Brooks's fairly dominant 1-2 last season. So Alex Gunn picking up where he left off last year in very impressive fashion, as there's a black flag for Northumbria A, the number 11, again for advantage by contact. Challenge here between Exeter A and Alex Gunn in the Huddersfield A car, but he holds on around the outside. Now, Andrew, that's something that maybe you wouldn't usually expect to see, but given the greasy conditions here, where the grip is anyone's game. Remember, these Club 100 karts that we run in this series have slick tyres, and that means that driving in greasy conditions is much more of a challenge than you'd expect in your road car. Combine that with no power steering and things like that, this is a completely surreal experience to those who haven't experienced it before. And being as this is our first day of racing in the series, there are several in the field who won't have experienced it quite like this before. But Alex Gunn showing them how it's done at the moment, leading this train of 4 karts in the fight for second himself. Exeter A's Jarvis Devon, then it's Exeter B's Josh Kraft, and then the Liverpool kart with Matt Bolton at the wheel.
Well, Matt Bolton making a move there for Liverpool, gaining another position. Liverpool ran very, very well last year. You can always pick them out with the yellow and white suits that all their team members wear. There's a black flag this time for Exeter C. So they're going to have to come into the pits, and just to run through drivers, that's for a spin under yellow flags. So all drivers need to show under the yellow flags that they've got full and complete control of the karts. There's a change there, 47 going past 10, that's the 2 Exeter karts. That's swapping position, Howard.
That's interesting. Earlier on I thought that the B team just let the A kart through, and I thought it was very good team play. But interesting here, I mean, you could argue that, you know, the position that they're running, that they're both looking good for points so long as they don't start battling. But Josh Kraft here feeling that he's got the pace. Manchester C getting onto the back of Jack Bolton here for a battle for 5th. It's sort of become a 5-kart train for second now. Tom Constance well away at the front here, 13.5 seconds the gap. Slightly shorter races this year in the qualifiers. We're down to 20-minute races because 10 races just wasn't enough, so now we do 12. So we have to reduce the race time to fit that in.
And that's a virtue of how many teams that we've got here today.
So changes to the regulations this year, meaning that all teams have to compete in qualifiers to feature in either tier of the championships. There's a penalty for track limits for Matthew Bolton in the Liverpool's kart. Now that's going to be expensive because in the BUKC, if you're used to Club 100 sprint racing, they use position penalties. In the BUKC it's time, and as you can see, he's in a right train of karts there. So he's going to drop down some 5 seconds for that, and that could actually be quite expensive. 5 seconds is time you can ill afford in the BUKC.
The wide there was the 43. Apologies, I thought that was for a change of position. That was, in fact, the 43 of Aston B, Chun To Chan, who's towards the back of the field.
Yeah, all karts that have had some kind of incident: Imperial C, Coventry B, Exeter C, and Imperial B. Just a little bit of admin, as there's a penalty again for track limits for Bristol A.
Currently 10th place.
That is...
Let's have a check now. Sorry, so Fran Gomez out.
It is Fran Gomez. So just a point, we may start talking in numbers. If you're tuning in to follow a particular university this season, then bear in mind that any university can have multiple teams. That's why they'll have the letters after their name. Generally speaking, the A team will be the sort of premier team of that university's entry. But try and learn the kart numbers of those who you're supporting this year, because they do not change throughout the season. So the Huddersfield kart you can see on your screen will always be the number 3 kart, as will the Huddersfield B and C karts also have the same number. We've got a battle on here though, as Manchester C takes to the grass to try and go around Liverpool, but it did not work out there. You can see the breakaway here that's happened. Huddersfield A and Exeter B have broken away. You just saw them go through shot, and then here is the conflagration of karts fighting for 3rd place down.
Andre Pedrali coming through the field here for the number 49 of Cranfield A. Returning to the championship last year, of course, got a team into the mains championship through one of these qualifier days. They are back again, having a very good start here, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. I forget how far ahead Tom Constance is. We barely looked at our leader, but just as we come up to the halfway stage here, he is doing an amazing job Got to keep an eye on the battle for second here, though, because Josh Kraft has just set a new fastest lap of the race, a 47.641. The track is getting, you can see just the dry line teasing the drivers forming in some places. As we've got a driver off to driver's left heading up the hill there. That is, I don't want to call that number, eyesight needs testing.
For the folks back home, yes, the dry line is forming. We're still about 4 seconds off a what I'd call a dry pace. It is quite unseasonably, I won't say warm, just not cold. Typically we get to this weekend, we've got frost on the ground as someone's run very wide there out of the final corner. Now that is one of our track limits areas. If a driver runs all 4 wheels the wrong side of the cattle grid curb, now this is the important bit, it's the cattle grid curb, not the white line, they will get a warning, and too many warnings will result in penalties. There's a spin there for somebody on the back markers towards Christmas.
So York was off to driver's left, so they've dropped down the order, and Edinburgh B spun under that yellow flag in turn 1. One of the biggest things is the driver station at the top of the hill as well. We've got a few drivers falling off. This is the thing, as the dry line starts to form, you'll have drivers pushing the limits, and they have to be savvy with, you know, if you went offline at that last corner to attempt an overtake, your tyres are going to be more damp when you approach the next corner, and you won't get the same grip from them. If you take to the grass like the Manchester C driver dipped a couple of wheels on it a few laps ago, then that's still extremely muddy, extremely boggy, and that changes your grip conditions considerably. There. So Tom Constance leads, but the gap has gone down here. Alex Gunn is beginning to up his pace. He's in traffic now. Here he is. He's just going to put a lap on somebody as they head through Inkerman's hairpin. Then he'll
wide.
Run wide there, and there's a loud extra B pass. Change for second place there. Josh Kraft, good bit of opportunism. Dealt with the traffic better there. There's Alex Gunn ran wide, and Gunn's a bit frustrated with that. No blue flags in the BUKC, and obviously one of the beauties of the series is how open it is to drivers of all experience. So there is a pace difference throughout the field. New introduction for this year, of course, all these drivers have obtained a BUKC racing licence.
Battle for second, Howard.
Is the challenge.
And up the inside goes Alex Gunn, and back into second place go former champions Huddersfield A. One of the favourites for this qualifier here today, third in the championship last season, which Alex was part of that team.
I don't know if Tom Constance has consciously been able to respond, because he's looked further back down the lap as he's sort of gone the other way, if you will, looked at the back straight as he's going up the main straight, or if he's just getting faster and cleared some traffic, but he's just set the fastest lap of the race. He has responded, and he's getting the gap back out now to 16 seconds. So he's in control of this race, and he's looking set to bag the first big points of the day for Brunel, a university, Andrew, which have won the qualifier events at Whilton Mill before.
They have indeed. Very, very strong team. Just as we're in the midpoint of this race, all of these races, so this first group of 6 races that we're going to watch for the rest of this morning and the early part of the afternoon, the grids have all been decided by a 10-minute qualifying session. That's good for us because it gives us a bit of an indication of how people are doing through the day, and we do have an early projection for who is going to qualify. Now this is with a lot of racing to go. 27 teams from today will qualify for the Mains Championship, another 27 tomorrow, which will also be streamed here on Facebook and YouTube by Alpha Live. Go ahead, Howard.
Absolutely. I just wanted to put that comment on the screen that we got from YouTube. We have got social media coming in across the board here today in the comments box, so do get in touch. We'll put the details just in a moment. Just the comment then for T-Dent Racing. Yes, obviously qualifying in greasy conditions, different drivers are skilled in different ways across the different conditions. So as the track dries out, we will see more position changes than you perhaps would ordinarily expect if we'd have done this on pace. These, of course, the only races of the season in the Mains Championship that will be decided in this way by a timed qualifying session. As our leaders continue to work their way through the traffic, that kart that they've just put a lap on is the University of West of England A, who were one of the karts who were stationary at the top of the hill earlier on in the race. That's why they are far down. Matthew Bolton in the 24 Liverpool kart here. Liverpool, if you are supporting them, distinctive yellow sleeves and white sort of torso race suit design that they have. They've had that for years, very distinctive, so always easy to spot the Liverpool folks out there. But currently he's challenging Josh Kraft for the third place spot, although he does have a penalty.
Yes. Just to go back to the projections, so if we think about this in terms of teams that had mains status last year and teams that didn't have mains status last year, at the moment the projection is looking at a swap of 4 or 8 teams, 4 coming in, 4 going out. The teams that have done well in terms of qualifying this morning that are coming in: York, Edinburgh A, Southampton C and Manchester A. So by coming in, I mean if they can recreate their qualifying performances when it comes to racing, they've got a good chance of being in the top 27 teams at the end of today. The 4 teams that they are currently replacing, so these are 4 teams that we saw in the mains championship last year who have not had good qualifyings across the morning session: Strathclyde, Coventry B, Aston B. Quite crucially at this stage, Howard, and a bit of a surprise for me, they're currently, where are they in this particular race? They started in 17th. Kingston A, one of our Premier teams from last year, have not had a good start today, and currently they're down in 21st position.
Yeah, obviously there will be some people going up relative to last year and people going down. There is obviously the natural cycling of drivers in this series as the battle for third works its way through some more of the traffic. Penalty for the leader. Bump and pass penalty for Titus Buchelis in the Brunel A kart for bump and pass. Now that's going to be, off the top of my head, Andrew, a 10-second penalty.
Yep.
Now he's got 14 seconds, so actually he's absolutely fine at the moment. But if Alex Gunn is able to work his way through the traffic more efficiently, he won't necessarily be aware that that penalty's been applied. First day back at school, folks. Everybody has new kart numbers, so even if you did somehow manage to remember all of them from last season. Look at this challenge for second place. Matthew Bolton looks to the inside on Alex Gunn. Liverpool A trying to get past Huddersfield A. And where's X to be in this? Because they crossed the line.
They're right
there
there.
They are, and there's a nudge. There's a nudge there going into Zulu. Where are they? They're right there. Josh Kraft gives a little love tap to Matthew Bolton, and that didn't pay off. To be honest with you, that would have probably been an ABC even if it had paid off. Yep.
Cone penalty for Kingston A. Fastest lap of the race at the moment, with Coventry B at the moment down in 31st position. So the track has got quicker by about 2 seconds over the course of this race.
Formerly black flagged Jiao Sarao.
2.5 minutes of the first race of 12 here today at Whilton Mill for BUKC Qualifiers Day 1 for the 2018-19 season. Do hope you're having a very good morning. Another penalty, this time for York. That's another 5-second cone penalty. At the moment, though, Brunel A setting good pace and looking like, even though they've got that penalty, they can close this race out. Bit of traffic for Alex Gunn in the Huddersfield A kart. Resisting pressure here from Bolton in the Liverpool kart. And even though the Liverpool kart might get through, if Alex Gunn can just stay on the rear bumper and be within 5 seconds, he will take second place. We have 1 minute 45 to go. So by my calculations, Howard, we've got 3 more racing laps.
Yeah, I thought that was good driving there from Whilton and Stone in the Ecstasy kart. So we clocked that leaders were coming by and let them through. Not an obligation to do that all under the rules, but very often a good idea. You'll just lose time if you start trying to hold up people who you're not fighting with. Matthew Bolton now all over the back of Alex Gunn. Very different lines through there. And is he going to have a run towards the boot? He is indeed. He looks to the inside, under braking into the first part of the boot section of the course. Not on there. Will he be able to get a switch back out of the second part of the boot and get up the inside? Alex Gunn taps his head as if to say, don't try it, mate. But this is exactly the time to try it in many ways. We're into the final minute of the first race of 2019 season.
Really good race to start this new season, and the battle continues here for second place on the road between the two northern universities of Huddersfield and Liverpool. Liverpool, a team that have really improved in the last couple of years. And up the inside looks Bolton. Oh, there's almost a bit of contact. Gunn is wide. Can he hold it on the inside for the entry into the Zulus? Yes, he can.
We've got to keep an eye on the start-finish line here.
Yeah,
Andrew,
the final
Tom
corner.
Constance is well ahead of these guys, and he's coming round the last part of the lap.
I think is he heading up the hill towards, he's here on screen now, coming through Inkermans. This is his last lap now for Thomas Constance, and a very good start to the day for Brunel A. Qualified in 7th place. Here's a curious little nugget of information, Howard. Brunel A have qualified 7th for every single race this morning. I don't think I've ever seen that before, but very consistent running throughout their whole team. And Thomas Constance has proven that you can win from 7th on the grid. This could be a very big day for Brunel. Brunel A take the first win in the first race in the BUKC this season. Thomas Constance, even with his penalty, will win by quite a margin. Here is the battle for 2nd place. Alex Gunn and Huddersfield A will be very happy with a 2nd to start their day. Good points conversion round the final corner. Liverpool will be 3rd, and they're across the line. Huddersfield takes 2nd, Liverpool will take 3rd. That will become 4th because Exeter B will be promoted as a result of Liverpool's penalty. Exeter A get a good start to the day as well on what has been a good morning for them with qualifying positions of 2nd, 1st and 4th. So that's good points to start for last year's number 10 seeds. Leeds A, who had a fantastic day at this event last year, start again very strong. 6th place for them. Manchester C were ineligible, but for the records they finished in 7th place. Cranfield A were 8th, good start for them. Strathclyde 9th, good start to the day for the Scottish University. Nottingham B were 10th, Huddersfield C 11th, Edinburgh A 12th. Then it was the 2 Southampton University teams, A and C, 13th and 14th. Royal Holloway, good to see them back here in the qualifiers. They start their day in 15th in race 1. Chester, welcome to the BUKC for Chester, and that is a very good start to their BUKC journey in 16th place. Kingston A recovered well to 17th, Northumbria B 18th, Brunel B 19th, and another newcomer to the BUKC, Howard, Regent's College, wrapping out the top 20.
Yeah, one thing I noticed about that, yes, we saw a lot of people getting lapped, but the general pace of the field, you can see the difference that introducing this racing licence has made, I think. The standard of racing there was very good. Quick note to you all. Remember, social media, hashtag BUKC2019 on Twitter. You can also comment below the stream on the BUKC Facebook page. We're going out on several pages today on Facebook, but BUKC is the one where your comments will come direct to us in the box. And also, you can comment on the YouTube stream.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Welcome to the comms box. It's ironic you've come up here because we're about to hand over down to the grid.
Yes. So yeah, I think we can now pass it down to Jacob Harris on the grid.
Hello and welcome to the BUKC. Apologies for the rush start. We had a few issues going live, but we are here for Qualifiers 2019 at Whilton Mill. This is day 1. We have 54 teams racing today, 52 teams racing tomorrow. It is a huge event. That adds up to over 420 drivers trying to compete and qualify for next year's BUKC. Doing well so far is Team Brunel, and Tom Constance has just won the first race. Tom, come and have a chat with me. Bit of a runaway, that.
Yeah, by the second corner, I was in second, and then after that, the guy in front of me was pretty slow, so got past him and all was well.
What's the conditions like out there? Is it still a bit greasy?
Dry. Yeah, people were driving it like it's a wet track. That was, well, I was so much quicker. But
That's the secret then, is it?
that's the secret. Just believe it's dry, and it's dry.
I will tell the man on pole as soon as he arrives. Good luck for the rest of the day. I'm sure we'll come and speak to you on pole position for race number 7.
Yes, that'll be it.
That's Tom. I did want to talk to Alex Gunn because he made an incredible recovery from going off at the first corner, but I can't see any of the Huddersfield lot in my immediate line of vision. I can actually see Huddersfield. How far we got range on this, James? Let's try and get down here, see if we can have a chat with our second place man, run very close by Matthew Bolton from Liverpool, I will mention. If we see Matt, I'll have a quick chat with him as well. Gunn, guys, where's Alex? Alex. Where's he gone? Alex, come and have a chat. Come and have a chat. Alex, second place in that one. Well-run race and a great recovery after the first couple of corners.
Yeah, well, the start didn't go as planned. I thought if P1 committed to the corner, I'll commit as well. He committed. I don't know where he found the turning from, but I just went straight on. So yeah, it was just a recovery from there. But once it started to dry up, it was all right. So yeah.
Yeah, Tom Constance, who won the race, said it's basically dry. Would you concur?
Yeah, online it's dry. Offline it's still a bit wet, but you just got to be careful. So just send it and you'll be all right.
You were pushed quite far, quite close, I should say, by Matt Bolton from Liverpool at the end there. Did you feel the pressure?
Yeah, I could see him catching up all the time, especially when it came to passing back markers, trying to get through the traffic. That made it more difficult because obviously offline, you know, you lose time, you slow down. So I knew once you were there, it was hard having to fight the back markers and the person behind as well. So yeah, it was good fun though. Hard race, but good.
Well then, Alex, we'll speak to you later. Let's go have a quick chat with Matt Bolton, actually. I've just caught him here, looking all red in the face, and then we'll move on to our pole sitter. Matt, quick chat. How close are you to getting second place there?
Bit too close.
You could have had him after another lap?
Yeah, I think,
Not what he said.
if I was a bit better luck with the back markers through the last corner, I could have pipped him to the line.
Well, yeah, as in the back marker took him out. Yeah, unfortunately we have no Ocons racing with us here today. Can you get him later? Can you get him in race 7?
Might be able to, yeah. We'll give it a go. Wait, hang on. Yeah, I'll get him in race 7.
And obviously this year Liverpool looking to replace the talismanic Josh Gollin. Are you the man to step up to the plate?
Hopefully so. I think I am.
Glad to hear it. All right, we'll talk to Liverpool a bit later. But for now, let's go find out who's on pole position for race number 2. I want to say it's George. Is it George?
Yeah.
It is George. George Story of Northumbria. It is Northumbria, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got a great memory. George, how have you managed to land it on pole position?
You know what? I don't actually know. I'm not even good. And
I'm told by the winner of the last race, it's dry.
okay.
A few other comments, it is dry, offline it's not. But you don't have to overtake anyone if you're on pole position.
Yeah, I'll just stay in first, I guess. I've got a teammate behind me, so I've got a bit of a wingman. And yeah, I've never won before, so it'll be nice.
Looking forward to it. Finished 11th in the championship last year. Can you guys push into the top 10 this year?
Oh, easy, yeah, 100%. We've improved every year, and yeah, I didn't see why we can't this year.
Glad to hear it. I'm going to go have a chat with Alistair from Exeter. He's lined up alongside you. Any words of encouragement or discouragement for him?
No, I wish him luck. Good race, clean.
Very sporting of you, George. Have a good race. Right, Jimbo's currently having a word with Alistair, but I'm going to squeeze in afterwards. What have you said to him, Jimbo? Not a lot.
Oh, God.
Alistair, how's it going?
It's going very well today, actually. It's going just swimmingly this year.
We weren't expecting to see you on the BUKC grid this year. What's happened there?
Well, it's a sort of PhD type thing. So, yeah.
So the rumours about you failing third year aren't true?
No, I didn't fail third year. No, I wouldn't fail uni. I'm not nonce.
Rory told me you failed third year, and you had to reset, and then you failed the resets.
Well, we'll keep that one stum then. Do you want to leave me to this? I mean, if you've got money on me, then you need to let me rest. You need to let me get focused.
Apologies. I'll go. I know I'm not wanted. It's usually where people are telling me I'm not wanted.
Yeah, I'll do it for you if I do it. All right.
Do it. I'll speak to you later, Alistair. Let's wander back further down the grid. We have got my favourite driver of all time, Neil Vincent, just here in what I think is 5th place. Neil, and your beautiful face, your gorgeous voice, and your voluptuous ginger hair. How are you?
I'm half ginger. I'd say half ginger. Half ginger, half blonde.
It's a fiery look, regardless. Do you want to tell your many fans what you've been doing over the summer?
Went to Tenerife. What else I do? Finished my placement, then just worked another job for another 7 weeks. Some more money, more karting money. So.
And just quickly, can you win this race for me?
Yeah, it's dry, so yeah.
Alistair said the same thing on 2nd place.
I guess we'll have to see, won't we?
Good luck, Neil.
Cheers.
You know I'm a favourite. All right, we are going. I'm in the middle. Should we quickly jump across, James? Should we do that? Coming up, we have race number 2. This is the second of 12 races we have here for you today. Each driver takes part in 2 races. 6 now before lunch and then 6 after lunch. Where they finish in these races will be their grid position for their second race, which is why I was telling Tom Constance that I'd see him on pole position later. This is the last Club 100 event, which will be running these TKM engines, which need pushing off because they don't have a clutch. Next year, we will be replaced by a Rotax Evo engine. And I believe Howard and Andrew are prepped and ready to be handed back to. Howard, Andrew, good morning. Glad to have you here. Talk us through race number 2, please.
Well, good morning, Jacob, and doing a fantastic job there as ever, getting the drivers' thoughts down on the grid ahead of this second race of the day. And it's a big old grid, so shall we go straight into it? Right. Well, he told Jacob that he has no idea how he got there, but it got there he has. George Story starts on pole position for Northumbria A in this one. Alistair Mallard, an experienced driver, is starting in the number 10 cart, the extra A cart from the front row. It's the number 11 you need to look out for Northumbria A, by the way. Second row of the grid, George Story has a Northumbria wingman behind him, and Andy Dawson, he starts third for the number 52 Northumbria B squad. The number 78 of Kingston B have Andrew Hunt at the wheel for them. Row 3 sees Neil Vincent starting 5th in the number 20 cart for Coventry A, and Chris Gristwood starting for Nottingham A in the number 5. Queen Mary, the number 81 cart, have qualified well. They have Yannick Brandt at the wheel for them, starting from 7th, and 8th on the grid is the number 30 of Imperial A. That's Stephen Moffat at the wheel for that. It's an all Huddersfield 5th row, with Huddersfield B's Jack Linus starting 9th in the 18 cart, and Huddersfield A with Aaron Walsh at the wheel in the number 3. Aston A have Jack O'Toole starting for them in the number 17 and 11th, and then Patrick Kasarek starts 12th in the number 50 for Nottingham C. Apologies if I go ahead of your graphic here, I want to get through them all. Coventry B start 13th in the number 32, that's Matas Grigolauskas. Joachim Silva starts 14th in the number 64 Imperial B cart. 15th is the University of Wales Trinity St David's Swansea A cart with Jeffrey Ellis at the wheel. Edge Hill, the number 68, starts 16th with Adam Sears at the wheel. Southampton C starts 17th. The 103 is piloted by Christian Toma. And then Robert Starley takes the number 44 Leeds B cart from 18th. 19th on the grid, the number 38 Southampton B cart with Chris Sheffer at the wheel. And then it's Alex Foster starting 20th in the number 73 York cart. Huddersfield D, the number 80, starts 21st. That's James Brickles piloting that. Ibrahim Nasser starts 22nd in the number 63 Leicester A cart. 23rd is the number 37 of University of West of England A with Corey Richards at the wheel. Alex McQuitty starts 24th for Edinburgh B, the 83 team. 25th even is the number 93 Cranfield B cart with Alberto Rodriguez at the wheel. 26th is the 84 cart Sheffield Hallam B, have Olaf Ude Reimer at the wheel. Elon Bokor starts for Strathclyde, the number 54 cart, in 27th. 28th is the 92 of Exeter C, James Denny at the wheel of that one. 29th is Coventry C, João Pinto, and Manchester C round out the top 30. Are we good for a start here, Andrew? It's Imperial C, Brunel C, UE
we
B,
are indeed.
Huddersfield C, Bristol B and Manchester B to round up the full grid. And we're away for race number 2. It's a good start from Exeter A's Alistair Mallard, but George Story has been able to hold on to it. And actually, I say Exeter A got a good start. Is that his wingman? It is. The Northumbria 1-2 has been established. Andy Dawson up into second place and Alistair Mallard down for third, and now defending that place against, I think, is that Neil Vincent who's had the good start there. I'll have to double check that as they come down through the Zulus for the first time, using the national loop here, or the Zulu loop as it's sometimes known, this left-right-left complex that brings them onto the back straight.
Driver first off, and Vincent's off as well for Coventry, so that was running wide on the exit of Zulu. I think that is a big problem for Exeter A.
Yeah.
Can they get going again? Yes, they can. Oh, there's drivers off in the Zulus as well. The number 73 of York is off. That is not good for them. They've not had a good first race. It's not looking like it's going to be a good second race either. As the field comes down to finish lap 1, it's Northumbria B from Huddersfield B, Nottingham A, Queen Mary up in 4th, and Aston A, your top 5.
So what's happened to Northumbria A, Andrew?
I think they were the first cart that ran wide on the exit of Zulu and clipped the tyres on the exit of Zulu down the back straight.
It's a difficult corner there, Andrew, in drying conditions. The slightest bit of dampness will run you wide. The way that they take the curb there, it's effectively a sort of off-camber corner that you're going into downhill, so you carry a lot of speed through. Can be difficult to judge, and if you run out onto the grass, it's very difficult to keep things going.
Remember, this is the first time this particular group of drivers have seen these conditions. It's not like the first race, where we very much had a bit of a transition through that 20 minutes. These drivers had fully wet conditions earlier in the morning when they qualified, and they're now going out onto a semi-dry track. And this is very, very tricky for them.
And I believe they didn't see quite these conditions either at either of the test days that we had at this circuit earlier on in October and early part of this month. So first time they'll have experienced these conditions. See the pusher kart driver, the yellow and black striped karts, their job is to bump start these karts. This is the last event you'll see them at. All the changes that Jacob was mentioning, moving to the Rotax engines next year. Does mean though this is the only BUKC event of this year where you can throw away your race in quite such a spectacular way so as to come to a stall, as that kart has, that we just saw there. Not quite sure where that is stationary. It's up at Inkerman's.
Oh, spin on the final corner. Can't quite work out what the driver is. It's the number 68. 68, which we don't... we do have in this race. That's Adam Sears, an experienced driver from Edge Hill, but unfortunately there for Adam, he's had a spin on the last corner.
Absolutely, the driver's been recovered at Inkerman's karts.
Oh, he is.
Yep. Karts that have had, I think he may have planted the rear of the kart a little harshly down on the floor there. Yeah. Just getting spoken to by one of the marshals. Karts that have had a form of drama then. Looking at the gaps here, Edge Hill have just had a spin. University of West of England A have had a drama. Huddersfield C look to have had a drama. And Manchester B as well. Those karts are some of the ones that have come to a stall.
Cone penalties coming out now for Edge Hill and Coventry. There were a lot of cone penalties in the first race. So drivers have to tidy that up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't forget, this counts for the first time actually across both tiers of the BUKC, both the mains and the newly named intermediates.
Change for the lead. Change for the lead. Jack Linus for Huddersfield B, one of the most experienced drivers in this Huddersfield team this year, has hit the front. Really nice move there on the entry to the boot. And he's gone past there, the number 52 of Northumbria B, Andy Dawson, who we saw earlier in the season, or in the calendar year I should say, at a Club 100 event that we streamed. And here's a battle for the 81 and the 5. This is over third place. This is Queen Mary and Nottingham A. First time we've talked about them today. One of the really experienced and consistent teams within the BUKC. They've been a top 5 team for the last few years.
Yeah, got to give a shout out to Queen Mary here. Yannick Brandt doing a fantastic job for them. Not based on the previous year's result where we would expect to see this kart at all, much higher than they were battling last year. So good signs early on here for the Queen Mary team.
Indeed, another spinner on the final corner. I think that might be the number 90 of Manchester B. If you're following on live timing, live.alphatiming.co.uk/BUKC. Yes, Manchester B have fallen down to the bottom of the order.
Yeah, Queen Mary finished 35th in the Rookie Championships last year, Andrew, so this is a dramatic change in form. Are they points eligible in this?
That's what I'm just going to check for
before we start singing the praises.
No, this is a points eligible race. Yeah.
Fair play.
It is their strongest qualifying slot of the grids of the day so far, I should say, on the grids. 7th, 25th, 33rd, and 26th. The positions for each of their drivers this morning.
Cone penalty for the leader, Andrew. 5 seconds to be added to the race of Jack Linus, and that's immediately lost him the lead effectively. First on the road he remains, but not in the final standings. JV giving a polite reminder to the drivers to leave his cones alone after the last race. As look at this, working their way through. That's the number 3 getting all kinds of sideways. This is Huddersfield A working their way up through the field. Aaron Walsh on the move in his distinctive green and sort of bright orange helmet and blue suit there. Working his way up through the field. Who's that he just got by? Was that for position? I think it was
two drivers a long way off circuit at Christmas Corner. I've not seen a kart out there for a long time. Oh, this is going to be bad news for both these drivers. They've got to drag them back. So that's going to be on the first sector. So we're looking for 2 drivers who've not come through sector 1.
Remember,
and I think it's Manchester C and Coventry C. They have not come through the first sector. They're sitting in the middle of the field at the moment.
First thing you've got to think when you see 2 karts go off like that, Andrew, and conditions are theoretically improving as the circuit dries, is that there may have been contact between those 2.
Yeah.
Who's dropping down the order? Sheffield, Hallam? No, sorry, Sheffield, Hallam are fine. Yeah, Coventry C and Manchester C there, and I think I did see the 97 for those karts. So, yeah, those 2 dropping down the order, and it's going to be difficult to recover their karts from there. You have to pick up the karts from the back. This is the last time you'll see this, but it's quite unique within arrive and drive karting. You'll see the drivers get out of the karts, covered by yellow flags, of course, and they will have to recover their karts to the tarmac, facing the correct way, so that the 4-stroke pusher karts can give them the bump start they need to get the engine started again. Direct drive these karts. Imagine your clutch always being engaged in your road kart. For those of you who've ever had a flat battery and need to get your mates to push you down a hill, you'll know what that entails.
Change for 5th position there. Imperial A having a strong race here as the 97 is still, I think, has spun again.
Yes.
There, the number 97.
Coventry C.
He's got to turn the kart through 90 degrees and back pointing in the right direction. Track limit warning for the 97. The 97 of Yao Pinto not having a good race here at all. No, Imperial A. This is a crucial race for Imperial A. We've seen this from them in the past. They're what we like to call a disruptor team, in that they perhaps don't have the team that can form, as the move there being done by Coventry A up the inside. Neil Vincent coming back through the field here, through Christmas Corner. That's him up to 6th place, I believe. So he's got past Imperial A and Kingston B. So no apologies, that would be for 5th place.
Recovering well here. Didn't come to a stop on that first lap, did he? But he dropped way back by running wide onto the grass. So making up for that, as there are warnings coming in aplenty here. Track limit warnings for Leicester A. In fact, 2 track limit warnings issued for Leicester A. So that's 1 more strike, and there shall be penalties for them. Coventry C have also got a track limit warning, but I think that's kind of academic, being as they went halfway to Leicestershire at Christmas Corner there. So those are issued. Here's the battle between Imperial A and Nottingham A. Nottingham A, kings of consistency in the BUKC. Chris Gristwood currently at the wheel, battling with the number 30 Imperial A driver of Stephen Moffat, as we've got another kart stationary at 2 karts stationary, in fact, at Inkermans. There's one that's right on the apex, so drivers are going to have to go wide there, Andrew, and onto the damper part of the circuit somewhat. Well, they seem to be sticking to the dry line somewhat. Difficult grip conditions here, and Whilton Mill is a particularly greasy circuit. There's a driver who's joined
contact there, the 74. That's unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, the 84 going too slowly under yellow flags there, catching the 74 out, and they're nearly being contact with there was contact with another kart, and nearly them coming round to a stop.
Yeah, no overtaking, of course, under a yellow flag, but because they're direct drive karts, you can't go too slowly, because you risk everyone stalling behind you, and it's a risk if faster drivers coming up behind you and you're going particularly slowly. Backmarker allowing the leaders through here. We're halfway through this race. Huddersfield B lead this one on the road, but they are currently not far ahead enough of Northumbria B for that result to carry once the penalty for taking out one of the cones, which denote the limits of the track, the limits of where the drivers are allowed to put their karts through the corner. That penalty will be applied, and it will drop them behind both Northumbria B and Queen Mary at the moment, and actually it will drop them all the way back to 9th place at the moment. It's very tight at the front of this one. Huddersfield B lead on the road, as I say. Then it's Northumbria B. Queen Mary having an absolutely brilliant drive so far in 3rd. Imperial A 4th. Coventry B 5th. 6th is Kingston B. Coventry A 7th. 8th for Nottingham A. Aston A and Exeter A round out your top 10. So Alistair Mallard also recovering fairly well from his incident on the first lap, Andrew, but not quite as good as Neil Vincent of Coventry A so far, who's got up to 7th.
Very nice race so far as well for, I'm going to struggle with this one, Coventry B in the number 32 kart. Matas Grigolauskas has gone, as you say, up to 5th place, having started 12th on the grid. So 8.5 minutes of his race to go, just picking his way through the field as the track continues to get quicker very nicely indeed.
Yeah, we were just got sight of our race leader there, Jack Linus, in the Huddersfield B kart, and this is the 52, second placed Northumbria B driver.
Changing positions with the A team as well. Now, just looking out for where the Northumbria A kart must have had a more serious issue, because they are now a lap down in 22nd place. Now, I wonder, is this tactics already coming into play? Is Northumbria A now going to protect their teammates Northumbria B? Because this is the important thing with qualifiers on a day like this. Yes, this round can count towards the main championship, but really, the teams that are under pressure today, those teams that will finish around the mid-20s and in the 30s, trying to get into that top 27. Northumbria B are definitely one of those teams for me, Howard, that need every single point that they can get. This is a really good use of Northumbria A here. They've not had a good race, but they're going to try and help the 52 here, protect them from that 81 kart of Queen Mary and the number 30 of Imperial A.
It didn't go well from pole position, remember, the number 11 kart of Northumbria A. So George Story is a lap down on the position where he started this race. So there were dramas for him early on. As look at this, Queen Mary, Yannick Brandt under pressure from Imperial A's Stephen Moffat, and Moffat gets up the inside at Christmas corner. So change for 3rd place there, nice clean manoeuvre. Will Yannick be able to come back in any way for Queen Mary? Nothing on in Inkermans, and it's generally speaking single file through the Zulus, and he immediately has the attentions of Coventry B's Matas Grigolauskas. As Andrew mentioned, having a good race there. Driver stationary at the boot, we could just see there. Sheffield Hallam are dropping down the order, so they've had a spin. Can I just say though, even though we are seeing spinners and we are seeing traffic lapped, I'm so far having a great time, mate, not talking about driving standards like we were this time last year.
Absolutely. Fully agreed there.
Penalty for Southampton C. Track limit warnings. I said a lot of those were coming in. 3 strikes and you're out. Or 3 strikes and you're penalised at least. And that penalty now coming the way of Coventry C. 6 minutes to go of this one. And bear in mind that this, your leader, number 18 of Huddersfield B, you just saw there, Jack Linus with the black and blue helmet, is got to try and pull out a gap here. His gap last time around was 3.5 seconds. He will not win this race if he does not pull out a gap of 5 seconds, because he has that penalty to be applied for taking out one of the penalty cones.
And Dawson has just set his fastest lap of the race, a 45.537, which has closed that gap now to 2.9 seconds, 5.5 minutes to go. Jack's got to get the hammer down here.
Well, when you're looking at the titans of the BUKC, Andrew, you obviously look to Oxford Brookes, you obviously look to Loughborough, but never count out Huddersfield. They themselves have for a long time been an established force in this championship. Former champions, of course. And it's
Adam Sears is off again. This is the last corner again, so more problems for Edge Hill.
It's an odd place to be off, Andrew.
Yeah, I imagine he's got loose on the last corner and then speared to the inside. Here's your leader on the road, the number 18, Jack Linus, for Huddersfield B. The gap is 3 seconds, so they were fairly evenly matched on that last lap, but it could all come down here to a bit of traffic, a bit of you know, a really stellar lap as the track continues to dry. Exeter A currently the quickest out there, Alistair Mallard on a 45.361.
Yeah, if you're Huddersfield right now, start hoping and praying that Imperial A's Stephen Moffat starts to challenge the Northumbria B kart, because that way lies a slower pace from Andy Dawson, because he'll be defending.
Oh, good lap there from Linus, 45.290 seconds. Can he get past these 2 back markers up the hill who are battling amongst themselves? I think this is Brunel C, the number 89, and the 101 of Manchester C. Manchester C do well to keep out of the way there in 33rd place. This is not for position, this is 28th and 33rd. That's good driving from both back markers there, and Linus is through, but he will have lost a little bit of time there. But I tell you what, Northumbria B have lost time as well. They lost a lot of time on that last lap, and they lost 4.6 seconds. So that has given advantage now to Jack Linus. He now has the gap, but how much time has he lost? He's lost a second in the first 2 sectors of this lap alone. There he goes across the line. 46. It's a very good last sector. Lap. 46.301 that last time. 3 minutes to go. This would be huge for Jack Linus.
The gap has gone down, but it's still at 6.6 seconds. So an effective change for the lead here. You've got to keep an eye on that gap on your timing column at the left-hand side of your screen, folks.
And the crucial thing is, at this rate, we've seen Linus just deal with that traffic very, very well. Northumbria B and Imperial A are going to have that, I reckon, in about 2 laps' time. And you've got to think, Howard, that will hold them up as well.
Yeah, Alistair Mallard's got to be careful here. He's picked up a contact warning, and I've seen him have a few other warnings here as he's worked his way up through the field.
I don't think Jack has ever won a BUKC race. I think that was a problem there for the number 90. He had his arm in the air, not quite sure what about. Another fastest lap of the race here from Jack Linus, a 45.226, but that's just been beaten by Neil Vincent in 4th place for Coventry with a 45.021. The gap is 7.4. He's pulled it out again, has Linus. There's a bit more traffic up ahead of him now. But let's look at that first sector. That's a good first sector. This is going to be a real challenge here. Getting through this traffic is key for Jack Linus. Now the 63 and the 64 are involved there. That's the 63 of Leicester A in 27th and the 31st place Imperial B kart.
Don't worry about the 777 if you see it, by the way, folks. That's a Club 100 tester kart. But do you know who's having an amazing race here? Neil Vincent working his way up to 4th place, now challenging 3rd. Having had the running wide on the first lap and almost dropping to the back. He's had an amazing race back up through the field.
8 seconds is now the gap for Huddersfield B to Northumbria B. This is a really composed drive here from Jack Linus. He's got a minute and a half, so he's got this lap plus 2 more, I reckon. But that is absolutely how you play the traffic on a day like this today, Howard. No charging through, just taking his time, taking the places on track where it's safest to do so, not risking getting another penalty. That was very, very well dealt with by Jack Linus.
Yeah, absolutely. We always talk in the BUKC, because there's a pace differential across the field, more so than in other forms of racing, certainly with Club 100 machinery, that picking your way through the traffic cleanly and efficiently is the name of the game once you've got to the front, and that's exactly what Linus is doing and showing his experience well here.
The gap is still at 8 seconds, and Linus sets his personal best first sector on this lap. Oh, contact! Oh, that's the 10! And that is the 10 of Exeter A. That is a big, big thing there, and the 89, which I think is towards the bottom end of the field. That's Brunel C in 30th place, so contact there between Alistair Mallard, your pole sitter, and there's a penalty there for contact for Exeter A as well.
He's picked up plenty of those contact warnings, I have to say, so one has to think that maybe it was him to blame with that. Dominic Kelly at the wheel of the Brunel C kart coming to a stop. Just as soon as we say it,
nervous times this. 11.1 seconds is now the lead. So if I was Jack, I'd just sit here if he knows the situation, because he's got a good buffer now to Northumbria B, even with his penalty applied.
It's a big if, though, Andrew. It's so difficult to know what's going on in these races unless you know the
And Northumbria B are in traffic as well. If Jack Linus can get around these final 2 corners, and he's sitting there, this has been a very mature drive and a very well-deserved win. Jack Linus takes race 2 for Huddersfield B. A huge boost for their qualifier, and now we wait to see the gap. It's going to be a long, long way past 5 seconds. There is the 52. That is crucial. A fantastic drive from Andy Dawson. He takes 2nd place ahead of Imperial A in 3rd. 4th place for Coventry B. A brilliant recovery drive from Neil Vincent after an incident on lap 1. Coventry A take 5th place. Kingston B 6th. Queen Mary 7th. Huddersfield A 8th. 2 Huddersfield karts in the top 10. Aston A 9th and Nottingham A 10th. What a race, Howard.
Yeah. Is Kingston B eligible for points there, Andrew? We were talking about how Kingston A were in trouble, but we never looked at the B team.
Yes, they are eligible for points. So that is a very, very good run for them.
Well, great drive there from Andrew Hunt in the 78 Kingston B kart then. What a race, and yeah, well driven there by Jack Linus. Obviously fell foul of the cone penalty, but was able to negate that with his pace. So Jack Linus wins. Brilliant drive from Northumbria B and Andy Dawson there. And Imperial A rounding out the podium with Stephen Moffat at the wheel. But great drives for Kingston B and Queen Mary. Got to say that's been good for them. Alistair Mallard in the end finishes 14th. He was on a good recovery in the style of Neil Vincent as well, but in the end there had the incident. Actually set the fastest lap of the race at the end there, the 44.953. But yeah, what a good race there. And it was like one of those old F1 races where they could win it on aggregate until that penalty got negated by the pace of Jack Linus. Gets Huddersfield's first win of the year. Based on previous form of Huddersfield, you wouldn't bet against it being repeated later on in the year. Do keep getting in touch with us on social media. Plenty of stuff coming in. We've got Facebook, YouTube and Twitter all feeding up to us in the box here. As Andrew, are we looking to pass down to Jacob?
Yep, I've had the thumbs up. We can now pass down to Jacob Harris on the grid.
Thumbs up to see if you're all right, Andrew. I'm concerned for your well-being, you know. Thank you for the thumbs up in return. Much appreciated. I'm down here. Jack Linus is somewhere. Where's he gone? Jack, come over here. Don't hide. Come on. Fantastic win, mate.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, exactly.
First place, that's the definition of it.
Yeah.
How'd you manage it?
I got really lucky on the first lap. Everyone seemed to come through the end of Zulu, and because of the formation laps, they just pulled all water on the track. I saw everyone eased off, and just managed to get to second there. I caught the leader, I think it was because of traffic, and I just sort of drove away, it seems. I got a cone penalty, but I seem to have got enough of a gap to offset it.
We've had 2 races and top 2 finishes for the Huddersfield lads. Is this a return to form for one of the BUKC's historically biggest teams?
Really hope so. We got 2 really strong teams in the A and B team, and our C and D teams are both really strong as well. It's kind of like they're too strong almost. So yeah, I think it's a really good year for Huddersfield.
Glad to hear it. Looking forward to talking to you throughout the year.
Yeah, hope so. Thank you.
Cheers, Jack. Right, our pole sitters yet to arrive. I believe that's Lewis Bickers of Nottingham. And the name of the second place man eludes me. I'm going to have to... It's a Coventry driver, I know that much. It's Ryan. Ryan is in second place. Come over and have a chat with me. What are you doing here on the first row of the grid, my friend?
It's going to be a regular sight, to be fair.
Is it?
Yeah.
I believe, yes, I fully believe you.
Yeah, good.
How's the day looking for the Coventry lads?
I think it can be good. B team needs less penalties, but other than that, it's good luck.
And are you yourself, you're B team, are you?
No, A team, captain.
Okay. Slightly disappointing championship finish last year with 20th, if you don't mind me saying. Can you improve on that this year?
Yeah, definitely. We've got a stronger team, and last year we had some new drivers, so obviously it's a little bit difficult because they're getting used to everything, but this season, a bit more experience, should be better.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you at the front of the grid in future races. Lewis Bickers lines up alongside you. Any words of encouragement or discouragement for him?
He's going to get shit on, mate.
Please don't swear on the live stream.
Sorry.
This is a family-friendly live stream. We have lots of children watching at home. Don't know why, they should be in school, but if you could apologise for that, that'd be great.
Sorry.
Get in the car. Lewis is on pole position, and I'm going to go and sit right down next to him now. Lewis, how are you?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not too bad, thanks for asking. Pole position on this one, doing a good job there.
Yeah, it was alright, qualifying was decent.
Tell us a bit about your racing experience. I see you've got a lovely custom helmet there. What have we seen from you in the past, and what can we expect to see from you in the future?
I've done like Senior X30, MSA. In the future, I don't know, it's like last year at BUKC. So, don't know, hopefully become top 5 this year, same as last year.
Have you won a race in BUKC yet?
No, never.
Is that what we're going for today?
Yeah, hopefully.
How confident are you on a scale of 1 to 100?
No.
Use decimals if you want.
90, that'll do.
90, okay. Looking forward to that. Got Ryan alongside you of Coventry, quite experienced driver. Can you beat him up to Christmas corner?
Yeah.
That was more than a 90, that was 100. That was 100% confidence. Brilliant, Lewis. Thanks for talking to us. Let's go see a bit further down the grid. We've got Harry Farnhill in third place of University of Wales Trinity St David. Harry, get to talk to one of you guys. Don't mind my arm by there. Strong showing for you in last year's Drivers' Championship.
Yeah, cheers. It was good fun at Clay. I wasn't expecting it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Can you carry the form through to this year and lead UWTSD Swansea to BUKC 2019 glory?
I don't know. Hopefully, we've got a really good team this year, so we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm excited for it anyway.
Let's hear it. Right, I'm going to push on further down the grid. Talk to as many drivers as possible. Who is this? We've got the first of our Manchester drivers here. Is this Manchester A? Yes. It is. Who have we got in the car?
Michael Grebe.
Michael, you're not a newbie, are you? But you got several new drivers in the team.
Yeah, well, I mean, this guy's definitely, you know, driving for the very first time, as you can tell.
He looks like he's got some fresh out of the packet gear on.
Yeah, exactly. No, we have quite a decent team for Team A this year, so I think we have quite good chances to, like, at least get into the mains and then see how far we can get.
Glad to hear it. And what about this race here? You're in, what, 6th or 7th, is it?
6, yeah.
And have you had a look at your competition? Who's around you? Do you fancy yourself for this one?
To be honest, I don't know most of the drivers here were in front of me, but given that the qualifying was under wet conditions, it can change like a lot. Like being quick in the rain doesn't mean you're quick in the dry as well. So like we'll see. I don't know how it will go.
And which do you prefer, wet or dry?
Wet.
So it's gone the wrong way for you. Never mind. I'm sure you'll do well anyway. Michael, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Michael there of Manchester, looking very strong this year. Let's have a bit of wander into the middle of the pack. Brunel A's here. I've had Brunel A already. Tom Constance won the race. Yeah, I'll get him again later. Here we are. Let's jump on here. It's Jack O'Toole, I think. Jack, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I've ever interviewed you on the grid.
You haven't, no.
I speak to you plenty off the grid, but I've never actually talked to you. Is there anything? Will Chu's watching at home. Have you got any special messages for Will?
No, we're having a great time with your championship. Amazing day. It's a bit tricky out there in places, especially if you come offline. But we're having loads of fun. This is an Aston heavy grid, but we've got 2 double stinting in this one, so it'll be a good one.
That's here. Michael's just been talking to us about how it's very much a dry track now, and it was wet in qualifying. Which would you prefer?
I prefer a wet track, to be honest. I was always a sort of wet weather specialist on the coming through, but I don't know. Don't like it when it's sort of wet and dry, but we'll see what we can do.
Well, that's two for wet and none for dry so far. I'm going to go grab another vote, but thanks for talking to us, Jack.
Cheers, mate.
Okay. Let's move in further into the mid-pack. I'm looking around for Jimbo just in case we're getting going anytime soon. I don't think we are. Who's this brightly suited young man in the Bristol car over here? Let's move in on him. Is it Tudor?
Yes.
Tudor, we haven't spoken before. Are you new to BUKC?
No, I'm not. It's my 4th year.
4th year? Wow, I've neglected you. I apologise.
I changed suits. So I had a black suit, so now I have an orange and blue one.
Are these brand new for this year?
I made them last year, so they all have black and purple, but I just said, let's be a jolly joker, so maybe I can get...
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I prefer yours to theirs.
Thank you.
Quite like that. What have you got on the side? You got the sports bar. What's that badge over there?
Which one?
On your right breast there. What's that badge?
I can't see it. Oh yeah, maybe it's the university one. I don't know where that is. I cannot see it. Sorry for that.
It's something. We got that. Where are we starting back here? We're mid-pack. What position is this?
I think it's the 20th. It is the 20th position.
Tudor, what can we expect to see from you today?
I don't know. Hopefully I can get a couple more places. I'm 94 kilos now, so it'll be really hard on straights, but maybe I can get back the positions on the technical part.
You ease off on the McDonald's, mate. I'll speak to you later. Tudor there of the University of Bristol. We are pushing off. That interview ran on a little bit long. Heading back now, this is race number 3 of our first batch of 6, and we have 12 in total for you today. As always, Andrew and Howard are up in the comms box, ready to talk you through another 25 minutes of BUKC action. Lads, up to you.
Cheers, Jacob.
Nice Bottas helmet.
Great Bottas helmet. We were loving that. The race suit and the Bottas helmet. It deserved that length of interview, let's not lie. Just a quick note on a question we've had on Facebook for where you can get the full results. I've posted a couple, but results.alphatiming.co.uk. Click on British University's Karting Championship and you can view all of the confirmed results for the races as we go along. Right, here's your grid for race number 3, the number 5 of Nottingham A, with the experienced Lewis Bickers at the wheel. He starts from pole, and he has Ryan Williams in the number 20 Coventry A kart alongside. Second row of the grid is the University of Wales Trinity St David's Swansea A, the number 28 with Harry Farnhill at the wheel. Callum Young pilots the number 48 Brunel B kart as well from the second row of the grid. Row 3 is the 75 of Royal Holloway with Oscar Burwood at the wheel, and the number 60 Manchester A kart with Michael Grieve at the wheel. Row 4 sees the number 7 of Southampton A with Kirk Langley at the wheel, with alongside Jack Chamberlain in the number 12 Brunel A kart. Huddersfield D starts 9th in the number 80, but we haven't got a driver listed for that one. And rounding out the top 10 is the number 17 Aston A kart with Tom Obi at the wheel. Experienced driver there for Aston. Exeter B start 11th on the grid in the number 47 kart. The Huddersfield B kart, the number 18, has Jack Hodges at the wheel starting from 12th. Jack Lund starts 13th in the number 24 Liverpool kart. Then the number 44 of Leeds B with Matthew Lawson at the wheel rounds out the 7th row of the grid. Cranfield B in the number 93 kart starts from 15th with the number 33 of Bristol A with Jack Lockhart White starting alongside in 16th. 17th place is the number 56 of Edinburgh A with Mackenzie Shepherd at the wheel, and then Ben Brewster pilots the number 34 Nottingham B from 18th on the grid. Rounding out the top 20, the number 97 of Coventry C with Dylan Paddison at the wheel, and Tudor Petrescu, who we heard from on the grid, the number 85 Bristol B kart. 21st on the grid is the Brunel C kart, the number 89 with Harrison Weeks at the wheel. Alex Megginson starts 22nd for the number 14 Leeds A squad. 23rd is the number 30 of Imperial A with Jackie Zhu at the wheel. 24th is the number 90 Manchester B kart with Sam Markovic at the wheel. The 25th spot is held by the 106 University of Wales Trinity St David Swansea B kart, Harry Grundy piloting that. The number 81 Queen Mary A kart of Anthony Small starts alongside. 27th, the number 68 of Edge Hill with Kieran Robson. 28th is Aston B. There's Leicester B, Regent's College round out the top 30. I'm going to just quickly go through these last ones. That is Chester, Nottingham C, Kingston A, Southampton B, Kingston B and Cranfield A to round out your 36 kart grid.
Here we go then for race 3 out of 12 here at Whilton Mill today for the BUKC qualifiers day 1 2018-19. All eyes on the lights, they're red, they're green, we're racing once again at Whilton Mill. Very good start for Lewis Bickers, he chops across two drivers right and retains the lead off the start of the race. Oh, big contact, and I think Max Shepherd was involved in that. There's a big gap there already because there's a good number of karts, Howard, off at turn 2.
Yeah, it's actually only 2 that came to a stop, I think, in the end, Andrew. And I'm going to have to double check because it was a number that's now not appearing on my list. So I'll double check them as they come round, mate.
So it's still Lewis Bickers. Everyone getting through the last part of the Zulus very, very well there. There's Rayanne Williams in the Coventry kart. Coventry have had a good start to the day. I've got some interesting news for you from the projections, which I'll confirm for you in a minute. But Lewis Bickers will lead for Nottingham A at the end of lap 1. Black flag for Brunel A, ABC for the number 12, Coventry A a second, Royal Holloway a third, Huddersfield D a fourth, University of Wales Trinity St David's Swansea A a fifth, Exeter B sixth, then it's Southampton A, Cranfield B, Brunel B and Manchester A wrapping out the top 10.
One of your fallers is Jack Lund in the Liverpool A kart. He was one of the drivers off at turn 2. And also in dramas that lap, Coventry C, actually they kept it going, they're not that far off the bat, but Aston A and Cranfield A have both run into problems there, so big drop there, Andrew, for Tom Obi as well. Yeah. So some big names, or certainly drivers we'd expect to feature highly in this race, coming a cropper on that first lap of the race.
Still very early days in this first qualifier for the year, but we're already seeing teams through the first 2 race results starting to make their moves or not making their moves, as there's a challenge here from Royal Holloway. The number 75 goes through and past, and into the lead goes the number 75 with Oscar Board at the wheel.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's the first time Royal Holloway have ever taken the lead of a mains championship or I suppose it can't count as the mains yet because it's the qualifiers, but taking the
I'm
lead of a
going to spoil your fun, Howard.
Oh, okay.
Illegible. So, just for everybody at home, consider this number 75 kart as a ghost on the circuit. It's not really there. It's not scoring points out of 60 in this one. So, a cross-start finish, but I'll tell you who is scoring 60 points at the moment. Williams for Coventry A. Ryan Williams has overtaken Lewis Bickers on that lap as well. He now sits second on the road and first of the drivers scoring points. Little look there from the number 60, Manchester A, looking very quick at this stage of the race with Michael Grebe. Very experienced driver, has run well round Whilton Mill before. He has got a warning though for track limits. Problem there for the number 38 in a really tricky position there through the Zulus. That is the number 38 of Southampton B. So they will fall to the bottom of the order. Leaders now struggling with a bit of traffic. That's the number 12 of Brunel A that they're getting their way past there. That's Jack Chamberlain.
Well, Ryan Williams is no slouch around here, Andrew. He set the fastest time in the final pre-season test around Whilton Mill. So, experienced driver, has the pace, and currently, in terms of the points, leads this race.
I just want to, just go over some stuff that's happened in those first two races. So as we say, we have our projection spreadsheet of doom, as we call it, in the box here that helps us figure out what's going on. Very interesting day so far for Northumbria A. They were the number 11 seeds last year. At the moment, I don't think this will actually happen. I think they'll turn it around. But the projections tracker has got them falling out of mains. They have used up effectively their 2 drop scores. Now, drop scores mean that each team races 8 times over the course of the day, and they will score 6 times. So their worst 2 races will be nullified and won't count towards their final tally. In effect, Northumbria A have already used those 2 drop scores, those 2 bullets in the gun. They've got to have a really, really clean set of races from now on if they're going to qualify for mains again, Howard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Change for the lead. Lewis Bickers has made his way past Ryan Williams and he's now going for the lead on the road overall. What a piece of driving that was from Lewis Bickers. He's picked his way past 2 quick drivers and a back marker at the same time, and Nottingham A back up to the front of the field. There's a cone penalty, Howard, for Aston A.
And a black flag for the 47X to B kart, who I'm going to guess...
And battling 3 wide! 3 wide into Christmas between the 3 leaders. And there's contact there between Bickers and Williams. And Bickers has now lost out to the number 28 as well of the University of Wales, Trinity St David. Jeffrey Ellis getting involved in here. What a piece of driving at the front of this field. It is Royal Holloway, who are ineligible, now back up to the front. Coventry A second. Swansea Met, as I like to call them, because I'm a little bit old, now up to 3rd place. And Nottingham now back down to 4th. Slow out of the pits is the number 48 as well after their black flag. So they're going to fall into the clutches of the leaders. And look out there as well for the 47 of Exeter B coming in as well.
Is that a correct driving listing against that car, by the way?
Yes, and it's not who you think it is.
Okay, all right.
it's another one.
Okay.
Cone penalty for the number 30, which is Imperial A. So 5 seconds added to their time, and challenge for the lead yet again. 3 wide with the back marker. Williams goes to the inside. Can he take the lead for Coventry A? Oh, there's a lunge there from, I think it was Huddersfield D. And no, Royal Holloway hold onto the lead for now. Cone penalty for Huddersfield D, so that was probably coming through the first part of the boot there.
Yeah. So Exeter B coming into this. Konstantinos is that the?
That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Very similar name to quite a well-known Club 100 racer, is why we were hesitating there. But yeah, Southampton A getting past Manchester A for 7th place on that last lap. So the number 7 now up to 7th. It's all 7s today, isn't it? Brunel had 7s across the board in qualifying. Yeah. But yes, not entirely sure who the identity is of our Royal Holloway driver. Just looking at some of the comments coming in on...
yep, it is Tom Fox.
On YouTube. Yes, it is Tom Fox. So it's not...
that's going to be our missing driver from this morning.
Okay, that's fine then. Okay.
Royal Holloway then do lead this race, but are not scoring points because that is one of Aston's drivers in that kart. The number 20 is your real leader, and the 47 going up the inside for 4th place on the road, 3rd place in the race. So Exeter B now past Nottingham A as well. 45.134 seconds was the last time for Tom Fox in the Royal Holloway kart. This race just starts to calm down a little bit now. There's the 47 of Exeter B. We've had a very, very good morning so far. They've qualified 3 times in the top 10. And they've got a 4th in their first race, which was race 1. Now, just for anyone joining in, if you're new to the BUKC, not all teams race in every single race that we watch here on the stream. There are effectively